Yes, and welcome to Vasily's Garden, folks. We're out in Coburg. Once a week I come out here to have a look around and get an update on our little veggie beds here. These are our raised planters that I've been playing around with. We had our winter crop, we harvested all that. If you remember, cauliflower, silver beet, beetroot, cabbages, broccoli, Romanesco broccoli, and now we're growing our tomatoes, capsicums, zucchinis, pumpkins, and for those who haven't seen it, this is our pumpkin plant. I don't know, I can't remember how long it's been in the ground, but there's one there already coming along. We've got more flowers coming along there. Any more on this side? Yeah, there's plenty more. So time's taken off. Our chilies are going really well. So what have we got here? We've got a Carolina Reaper, super hot. We're actually planting a Bachelocca on the other side, and we've got some sweet capsicums. You're looking at a big Malacca tomato here. Now this one here got beaten to death from the high winds when we first planted it. See all that stripping there? That's because it's constantly rubbing there, but there's nothing wrong with the plant other than cosmetic damage there. So there's no disease on it, plenty of growth coming on at the bottom. It's settling down. You can see the new growth there as well, and at the bottom there beautifully. All right, we've tied it up in the figure 8, stabilized it onto the wire frame, and give it another 2 or 3 weeks. It should be fine. And what you're looking at here, folks, is a grafted cucumber. We haven't got any tomatoes or eggplants ready yet, but we've got our cucumbers ready. These are our grafted cucumbers. Have a look. So it's grafted on a wild rootstock. We're meant to get nice, long, continental-like cucumbers, and it's looking really good already. Look at the amount of flowers popping up on that. Right? It's not a cheap little plant to have, and I'm going to stick it right in here, meaning it's not cheap to buy, being grafted, and it takes so long. So it's going to have its home set up in here, in our planting medium, which has got a nice blend. Let's have a look at the roots. Yep, just coming through, nice and healthy. Don't need to tease them out because they're still very fine. Let's loosen this up beautifully now. Pay attention here. It hasn't rained for a couple of days. It's been quite warm yesterday, today. It's going to be warm tomorrow. Look at the top of this bed here. Look how crusty it is, okay? That's crusty and dry, but look underneath here. Look at that. Look how nice and moist it is. That's our planting mix blend that we have here, folks, with our cocoa pith and everything else. So you really don't have to worry about watering it every day if it starts to dry up out here. And this is a really warm microclimate in this section here, folks. It gets really warm. So if it's like 20 degrees forecast, it'll be at least 25 in this area. Just pushing that down like that. That's all that needs. And it needs its label in place. And we're going to take a look around the other garden beds too. And this is a plant that I put in earlier on, about 6 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. This is the first garden bed. Again, our raised planter boxes. You need to come around this side to have a look at this. Just get the spring onion out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every leaf and a cucumber, folks. These are Vasily seeds. Vasily seeds. You don't believe me? Well, if you bought some, you'll be growing something similar to this now. All right? We're going to do a figure 8. We're not going to collect one cucumber off a plant or half a dozen. We're going to collect, well, let me tell you what we're doing here. All right, because it's a beautiful front space here and I want to green it up a bit more. I'm going to grow this up here. Now from this little trellis, I'm going to put a string across here, across the other side. I've got to stabilize this. Let's do this in real time. Where's my string? Excuse me. I've done it here. Have a look at this. All right. So this is a tomato plant in the middle one. I've just strung it up from here because it's getting top heavy. This needs a prune now because it's starting to bush out. You know, here we go. Here's my logic. I'd normally train this up on my framework, and you know how I've got the string at home and I'm doing all that canopy on top? Well, I've got no canopy here. I've got nowhere for this to go. So I've got my tomatoes setting fruit at the bottom here. Look at that, beautifully. And everywhere you look, clusters of flowers. And we're talking at least a dozen flowers in each cluster, all right? More over this side here, more over there. We've just passed another bunch up here. Rather than pruning this to 3 runners now, because I've got my 3 runners from here up to here, rather than pruning it anymore, I'm thinking, and I've used a small frame, right? This is the tomato frame, this is the small one, 5-footer, just under. That's the big one, and you can see the difference in height. That's for the big Malacca there. Rather than pruning it, I'm going to let it bush out and let it cascade over the sides, and I'll worry about it when it gets to that stage. Well, it's already there, isn't it? Have a look at this. But it's so rigid. It is so rigid. I don't know what I'm going to do. What do you reckon? Keep pruning? It's healthy as. Tuh, tuh. If you haven't learned what that means by now, it's making sure that I don't curse it. So back to this. Sorry, I got excited there, sidetracked. String line it like this, but then we're going to do it on this one here, but then we're going to feed it up to the top. I think I've got enough string here. So let's start on this side, because this will help stabilize the tomato frame. Come down over the top like that. Come back over. Oh, bugger. This is just my imagination going wild here, right? You might think I'm nuts. I know some people do. There. Now, it's going to come back down on this side as well, like that. I normally would build something more, systematic, something more symmetrical and balanced. But today, I'm not doing that. Wish me luck. What was that? My glasses? Yep, doesn't matter. I saw this hook up here. That's cool. What do you reckon? That will tie back to this one. So we're going to... It's the Greek in me, folks. That's all it is. We're just going to keep running it like that. I actually might get another hook and put it up there on that side. Oh, there is one here. There it is. And do the same from there. Where's that position? I'll have to drag that across. And then we'll do another hook from there to here. So then we'll have our cucumber trailing up there, getting lots of northerly sun, reflection against the wall, and protection underneath as well. And then hopefully, we have cucumbers hanging down like that. I don't know how strong this string's gonna be. I will worry about that when the time comes. This is one from the punnets. Is it producing anything? Look at that. Nothing, it's a dud. Just starting to show now. But admittedly, it's on the south side, so it's not getting the same amount of sunlight. And the other one, remember this, and this is a major factor to it, folks. We had a Romanesco broccoli growing here. They were literally casting a shadow over the top of the cucumber there. Not so much on that one, because that was on the north side. So this plant here was suffering. It's only just started to get its sunlight. And here's the other example. We had some capsicum, sweet capsicum planted here. Look at it. Look how jaunt that looks. It's had no life or light on it. And here's the other one on the other side. So both of these were overshadowed by the Romanesco plant. So now that they're getting the sunlight, it's time to plant them. And the ghost chili. Ooh, very hot, very hot. Just a quick top up with our planting mix. It's what I do every time I take out a plant and put a new one in. This bed hasn't had any at all actually, so I might give it a light spread all over and benefit all the plants. This is one bag, which is more than enough for a square metre. I'm not putting it all in actually, that's all I need. Just push it through lightly, around. I'm going to plant some oregano as well. There we are. Just a light top dressing, folks. If your garden bed's struggling, look, another thing, let's get serious on this one here. With all the rain we've had and the fluctuating temperatures that we've constantly going through, a lot of people are struggling with their veggies. You're getting a lot of yellowing of the leaves. Septoria leaf spot and rust is becoming more prevalent in a lot of gardens, and that's because of the microclimate, the moisture retention, the type of soil, all those elements put together add up to the problems becoming, prevalent on your garden or in your garden. So if your plants are starting to yellow, it means either it's too wet, not enough nutrients, not enough airflow through the place, and your plants are really starving. Now look at this. I'm not going to spit on it again, but the fact is, look, it's got a nice, strong, vibrant green colour on it. There's no real markings on it. The only mark you got here is a little bit of rubbing on the wire frame, and that's nothing to worry about. Tough as nails. This is only just starting to set its fruit. We've got plenty of flowers on it, just like the other one, and the plants are really clean. And I explained to you what happened here. They were in complete darkness for 4 or 5 weeks. Same with the cucumber. That's why they're struggling. Whereas the one in the front, laden with fruit on it. So check your soil. And if you're replanting again, Make sure you've got the drainage, check the moisture underneath, make sure it's loose. Look what I'm using. I'm using my cultivator so I can loosen up the soil, not just dig a hole. I'm making it nice and fluffy. It needs to be loose. And then I put my plants in it, and using the planting mix, it's got everything you need in it. Don't tease the roots because they should be nice and loose already. Like that, light press, and the rest is history, folks. Do that with your garden. If you need to replant, you've got plenty of time to do that. Your garden centre should still have plenty of wonderful spring, summer plant varieties for you to get back into your garden. And you can start sowing seeds and get ready for autumn as well, because it's only just around the corner. You think I'm joking? You blink and it'll be autumn before you realise. Check out our website. Our end of spring run out sale is still on, folks. We're still running the Black Friday coupon code. Friday for an extra 10% off everything online. So save up to 75% on all your favourite garden essentials. VasilisGarden.com for everything you need in your garden. From me, Vasili, Maresi.